Yes, huh? Okay. So after your lunch, it's time to learn some new techniques right here. So first of all, welcome back to this day 3 of our expo happening right here in Jiospace. So since everyone is officially ready, so without any further ado, we would like to continue with our third sharing of today. So the topic is brought to you by Fuji Film. It's called the photo street photography. So definitely all the photographers are sitting over right here. So if you're ready, let's officially invite our sharing speaker, Mr. Azul. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. The stage is yours.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Azul. I will be, even though the poster says street photography, but I'm going to be honing into a specific area which is about documenting what's on the streets. So it is street photography, but with a purpose, more like a documentary kind of thing, yeah? So before I begin, let me just give you a brief introduction about myself. Yeah, it works. Okay, so I am a lecturer in photography. I teach photography at a college called the One Academy. And then I also teach at an NGO called Yayasan Shalkit. I also do this kind of things like photo walk and workshops. And I've been invited to be on the panel of judges for some photography competitions. And what I've done in the past, you know, the odd wedding, I've got some food photography happening, and some various stuff happening, and then some of my works have also been published in magazines and in the internet, on the media. But what I'm focusing on currently for the past few years is actually doing things like exhibitions, photography exhibitions, and these are some of few that I've done, and also working on a book. So I did a book last year, and I'm working on another book right now. This is the area which I'm focusing on my photography on. Yeah, so that's a brief background about myself. Okay, so when we talk about street photography, usually we talk about, for those of you who are new into street photography, we talk about taking images. You know, you have your shadows and your silhouettes and your saturated colors and your layerings and your juxtapositioning with things behind you and stuff like that, and color and black and white and all this kind of stuff, right? So this is what we do in street photography. But for my purpose of today, I want to focus on just give you some examples of some of the works that I've done in the past, what I'm and what I've done this year, and what is coming up soon, next month. So I have to go backwards like this because I need to see what's in the next slide. Okay, so in 2019. I did an exhibition called KL Urbanism. Some of you here will remember that. And this was done at Matic in Jalan Ampang, and it was under the National Art Gallery of Malaysia. So here is an example I want to talk about, which is I go out on the streets taking pictures of streets, but I have an objective of what I want all this series of photos to mean or to undertake. Yeah. So here is about what you will see is that all these images are of more or less one person in that image with a background of the urban landscape, urban structures and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's the purpose. And how I see it is that in this what they call it, very busy and chaotic city of Kuala Lumpur, actually at the end of the day, we're all individuals, right? We all have our own lives, our own objectives, our own career paths, our own problems, everybody else. So this is what I'm trying to get at. Everybody is an individual in this. So this is one of my favorite places to shoot. I think some of you may be familiar with this. This is the bridge from behind Sultan Abdul Samad building going across to Masjid Jami. If you go there about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, and you've got a nice strong sun, you've got some beautiful long shadows happening. Yeah. So this is to show that there's single person in this urban landscape. The other thing I forgot to mention that in all or most of my pictures, you will not see the faces of these people. They're either hidden in shadows or in silhouettes, and that's intentionally done. And the other thing I want to mention also, this project took me 6 years to do. It's a culmination of 6 years of photography to come up with this. So during the exhibition, there were 35 photos which were exhibited. And I also wanted to, I went all around KL to shoot, and also it was an exploration for me, as well as showing people certain areas which we may not be familiar with. At the end of my talk, I have some questions to ask. I have Fujifilm has very kindly given some little gifts to give away, so pay attention. I'm going to ask you guys questions, okay? This is in KL Park in Sentul Park. So they have KL Park, they have an annual Sime Derby Arts Festival where they have all the arts, the music, concerts, food, right? So it was very busy, there's a lot of people, but then I noticed this one woman sitting all alone on the edge of this. So obviously she's doing something, whether she's reading a book or looking at a phone, but this is what I'm trying to capture, that we are all actually alone in this world actually. Another, an example of how a busy city like KL, but we're actually not really interacting with each other. So we are like this, people are just going their own ways. Yeah, this is in Masjid Negara, the National Mosque. This location, which is somewhere near Jalan Sultan Ismail, is overhead bridge. This was when I got the idea for doing this project because I was there one evening about 5 p.m. and people were going home, right, going to the LRT station. And then I realized there was actually at that time there were a lot of women, individual women going back. Then it gave me this idea about thinking about how people are living in this in our urban landscape actually. This is Bank Negara. If those of you haven't been in Sasana Kijang, Bank Negara Museum and Art Gallery, I will come back to this at the end of my presentation, towards the end of my presentation. This is in Kampung Baru. This is somewhere in sudah lupa dah. My town, sorry, somewhere in my town. Anyway, so what you see is just see this leg, this person walking. But what I want you guys to notice in the reflections, you see the plants, right? They're actually growing from those black boxes. So this is what urbanization has done. Actually, plants are actually growing out of boxes. So a lot of things that you can actually analyze in this series of images. This is Masjid Wilayah Persekutuan Mosque. Yeah, this one I don't know to say lah. This one is when you go at a certain time in the evening, if you've got nice sun, clear skies, you will see this, and you're standing at a certain angle behind the fountains. You have this nice glow coming from the water. So some people have said to me when they went to the exhibition was that they felt, looking at my images, it gave kind of very serene kind of feeling in KL, which is not what KL is about. And that actually made me think, because I didn't think of that aspect of the whole series of images. So this is one project, documented project. Okay, randomly, so I've got my presentation today is quite random. I'm going to talk about this, talk about that, right? So randomly, this is I had just about 4 or 5 pictures here. Stairs is something that I just like to shoot anyway. So I'm sure some of you, some or not all of you, if you look back at your archives of photos, I'm sure there's a lot of things which you tend to like to shoot again and again and again, right? So here is that after I was in London about 2 years ago. After having come back, then I look at my images, then I see, okay, I've got some interesting images of the stairs. And this is a thing about not going out with the intention to shoot for a purpose, but coming back and analyzing your work later on and realizing that there's actually a series that you can put together. This is the Tower Bridge. I don't know whether I'm in the Tower Bridge. But of course, I'm waiting for something to happen, waiting for people to come across. This is in the London Bridge station. So beautiful stairs, and it's all obviously very, very old, very old stairs. This one may look modern, but I think it's quite old also. It's in the South Bank in London because it's painted bright yellow, so it has that thing. But I'm sure it's built from the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken. And this one is in the Tate, Britain, which is in London there are 2 Tate galleries. This is the older one. But the stairs is new, as you can see, it's modern, right? But it just goes so well with the shape and the design of the building. So I like this kind of thing, observing about architecture, observing about designs, and observing how these are created to make use of the space. Last picture, this is St. John's Wood train. I thought it was just so interesting that this guy who took the stairs to go all the way down with his dog. But I just like the structure of this station, a very old station as well. I mean, all the stations are older. Okay, next one. Okay, while I'm in London,
the train that
I was in London at this time. 2 days before I was supposed to come back to Malaysia, the Queen passed away, the Queen of England, some of you may remember. And for someone old like me, and my parents, my father was in the army, and he was actually trained in England in the 1950s. So there's always this connection between especially my parents' generation and the British. So I felt it was important. I remember when I was this night, right, this evening, actually on September 8th, I went to see a play with my daughter and my nephew, Mousetrap. And before the play started, it was announced that the Queen had passed away. But before the play started, the announcer said the Buckingham Palace or the palace wished for all the plays to continue and not to have to stop, so we didn't have to go back. It was nothing was cancelled by the wish of the palace. So what I did was I told myself, okay, the next day, so now I'm going out with an intention to document something. I go out the next morning to Buckingham Palace because I want to see what's happening there. So there were crowds of people, lots and lots of people, and all this, and it was very kind of quiet. It wasn't like rowdy, it wasn't loud or anything, just very quiet. Everybody was very calm, and there was obviously a lot of sadness happening. So this is documentation of what's happening there. Actually, on the main gates of Buckingham Palace, there was a signage, the official announcement about the death of the Queen. I wanted to capture that, but it was too crowded. I couldn't get to it. I couldn't even see it. I don't know where it was anyway. But I really like this last picture here. Randomly, this lady with a bicycle just going with the message, and these 2 guys are looking at that message. So that moment, I think it's really a nice moment to be captured. So I walked around a lot. So this was on a Friday, the 9th of September, and I walked around this is my last day in London because I was going back the following day. So I walked around a lot, and everywhere they had these signages of condolences for the Queen. So here again, I was going to document all this because I knew this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me because the Queen is the longest reigning monarch, if I'm not mistaken, before she passed away. So there were lots and lots of this. So anyway, I walked apart from this, I was also taking lots of other pictures because I wanted to fully utilize my time. So finally, I came home back to my apartment around 5-6 p.m. Very, very tired. My plan was I'm going to rest, I'm going to pack for the next day, I was leaving the next day. I switched on the TV, which I often do, and I see a news showing Trafalgar Square at night and all these big signages, same thing of the Queen. I said, oh my God, I need to go and shoot this as well. So as tired as I was, I rested a bit. About maybe 8 or 9 p.m. I went out again. And this is my favorite picture from that moment because there's a couple down there. So that screen of the Queen is actually a static screen. It's not a slideshow, it's not moving, it's just there. But people were just walking up, just standing and looking, paying homage to this, you know. So I got this couple just looking, they were just standing there. Yes, right? So that's another series. Next series that I did 4 years ago was I did this project about Kampung Baru, and the style that I'm doing here is a collage style, and I'm taking lots of close-up pictures and then I'm printing them out and putting them together to form these collages. And there's a reason for that, is actually making this, showing the motion and the liveliness of the scene, and also to show the fragility of the structures. And also, I don't know whether you guys know this, that there's this thing about Kampung Baru where for many years the government has been trying to redevelop the place, and there's always this back and forth between the people and the government about whether to go ahead with it or not, back and forth. So this was taken from the hotel, Tamu Hotel. I stayed there one night just to get an overview of the Kampung Baru, and that's the mosque, the Masjid Jami' Mosque. So here, this man, I forget his name, was a friend of a friend. The house, ni ada laser ke? Ada, excuse me, this one ada laser. Got laser tak? Got laser. Okay. The house at the back, behind him, right at the back of this little lane, that's his house. This structure here, it looks kind of big, but it's actually small because all my pictures, my collages are shot using 35mm, so things look a little bit wider than it is, yeah? But this house is no longer there. It's gone, yeah? So I'll show you how things change quite fast, huh? This is an uncle which I met through, this is my friend's uncle. I went to visit him, did an interview, talk about it, and this is his old Malay kind of house. So sadly, this man has passed away during COVID. It wasn't because of COVID, I think he was not well. So there's documentation of this guy. This is Makcik, very famous, Rempeyek Makcik. You can go there, you will find she's always there at that corner. And this is what I'm trying to get at with my collage, is actually, you see, she has many hands. I want to show that motion, that movement of things within one single image. Huh? This young man is the son of the guy who owns the stable business. In Kampung Baru, there's famous stable kedai, steakhouse lah, stable this, stable that. So this is the son, and he was just manning his shop. And I shoot this by focusing on certain aspects and not focusing on certain aspects. So if you look closely, some of things are blurred and not. So it gives you that kind of 3D effect. Huh? The tall building behind is the Legacy condominium, which is now completed, but during this time it was still being built, just to show the contrast between the monstrosity of a modern structure looming over the old Malay kampung house. The house is still there, I think. This is the very famous blue house in Kampung Baru, which has been used for filming and drama and stuff like that. This man has nothing to do with the house, he's a friend, and he brought me there just to take some pictures. But I've been there recently with my good friends here, and a lot of the things at the side have been demolished, left and right, and apparently this house is going to be moved temporarily because they need to do some digging underground, some piping thing happening. This man is the father of a tour guide, my friend also, his name is Fuad. So Fuad, I contacted Fuad through social media, and he brought me around Kampung Baru again, told me a lot of stories about Kampung Baru, and this is his father. So during the tour, he does tour guides. he would bring to his father's house and they would have tea. And his father loves to play his guitar and sings. It was wonderful, a wonderful experience to be here. This guy's name is, I think Fahmi, if I'm not mistaken. He sells this goreng pisang. This stall has already moved somewhere else, but he's still doing this business. 3 pieces for 1 ringgit. And this famous Din satay. So the Din, the guy in the red shirt, those are not twins. It's the same guy, right? He's moved. Again, showing motion, different moments in time. Within a few seconds, things have moved. So this exhibition was held at GMBB in 2021. And the uncle came, Fahmi's father, Fuad's father came to see his picture. And he was wearing the same shirt as well. So it's nice. Okay. Alright, so when I did my book last year, one of the sections in the book is about shooting underground trains and stations. It's called Transit. So here are some images which are outtakes from that, apart from this one here. Here also I go out with the intention to document, with the intention to shoot these things, a series of images. I wanted to just show life in the public transportation system. Quite a few times I'm using the slow shutter to capture this motion blur, and my go-to slow shutter speed is 1/4 of a second. So just showing stations like this. Yeah, this is a train leaving the station. The thing about shooting in stations, some of you, if you've tried it, sometimes you will get stopped by the security guard or the guard saying you cannot take pictures. Sometimes it's okay, so I don't know. I've been lucky, I guess. I've been told maybe twice or 3 times not to take pictures. This is a reflection on the wall inside the train. So I'm just standing on one side and I'm shooting this reflection. This girl, okay, this section is actually looking through the glass. So she's on the platform, but everything there is actually in the train. It's a reflection on the other side of the train. When I go on the train to do this kind of thing, I always stand by the doorway because I find I get the best kind of images there. Just a quiet moment for this lady who is people just walking around her. So kind of random kind of shots, but it just tells a story about what's going on in the train. This is an example of me standing at the doorway and just shooting these people coming in and out. Yeah, a close-up of this Bombardier branding. The reflection at the top is actually coming from the train, from the platform. So there's bright lights covering these faces. Yeah? But I kind of like these legs, just showing these legs. So I'm not sure whether this girl is looking at me or looking somewhere else. I tried to analyze this image, but I can't. Anyway, sometimes what I do is with my camera, we have the flip screen and my camera is down here, I'm looking down. So I'm not really putting it at my eyes. So I use different techniques when I take pictures, not just one technique. And this is the MRT, Pasar Seni MRT, which I really love. I've taken so many shots of this station, beautiful station. So this one is the inside, the front of the train, and purposely I want to show the reflection of what's inside as well. So the blue, the guy, is actually what's behind me. I'm in the middle, shadow standing there. Yeah, showing the movement, motion, and also reflections. Okay, so that's Transit. Another project which is very, very recent, which I've done with another photographer. Her name is Grace, and it's called Under the Shadows of Merdeka. This is a grant that I got from Think City to do this project, exhibition as well as a book. The book is coming out really soon. It's been delayed, but hopefully it's coming out really soon. Basically, I want to show, it's a documentary of the places surrounding Menara Merdeka 118. We're talking about Kampung Baru, Petaling Street, Pudu and Bukit Bintang. It's not the whole of Pudu or the whole of Bukit Bintang, but just an area which has been defined by Merdeka 118 as their surrounding precincts, they call it. And just to show how KL is today since independence. You all know, or some of you know that Pudu Raya, Pudu bus stop, Pudu bus terminal used to be the busiest bus terminal in KL, right? Well, not recently, quite some time already, because a lot of the bus terminals, buses have changed to different locations, so it's kind of dead place. Basically, this terminal is used mainly for UTC, the government services. But I just saw this guy with his belongings and his carpet on his shoulder. I thought it was an interesting image. This is where is this? Masjid Al-Bukhari. Masjid Al-Bukhari is the mosque opposite Lala Port, somewhere there. And you only know this will happen if you are there on a Friday. For Friday prayers, if you go there, they have all outside on the pavements, they have lots of people selling fruits, all kinds of fruits. And it's obviously more catered for the foreign workers that come to pray there. So I find that very interesting. So unless you actually go there, you will never know this kind of thing happen. There's a lot of stalls and stuff happening there, selling there. This is an overhead bridge behind Lala Port, somewhere behind Lala Port. And this, what I'm shooting through here is very, very tiny little holes on the fence. So I positioned the camera just to get the shot. The first day I went there, the weather wasn't great, it was kind of gloomy, but I took some pictures. I went back again a few days later. It was a nice sunny day, so you see the clouds, right? But it's just waiting for the train to come and trying to position your camera to get both of these things happening. What I want you guys to notice as well is on the left side, you see the buildings, the old buildings are very low and old. Whereas on the right side, you see these tall, modern buildings. This shows you the development of KL. Again, something that is being documented here. So the Kenanga Mall, the Kenanga area, where if you have not been, sells lots of clothing, but it's more for wholesale. And I just wanted to document how these people from the streets are where the wholesale shops are, they would deliver their goods to the mall, Kenanga, what they call it, fashion mall, for the retail to sell. So this kind of ongoing thing that's happening there. This is the old Pasar Karat. I think it's interesting not to show this guy's face, just to show what he's selling. Used jeans and got the sizes on the jeans and stuff, right? So as you know now, this Pasar Karat has moved to another location. This is, you all know this from Kwai Chai Hong. It was about 4 p.m., 4:30 or so. Beautiful sun coming out and that pocket of sunlight shining on that section. So I was just waiting for people to come in and out to shoot that in conjunction with this lady, this famous statue. This, as you can see, these people are actually cleaning the glass. This is the Menara 118 building, and that diamond shape, so this part here, this is obviously a reflection of this, right? This is a reflection of that. So it gives you that diamond shape kind of thing happening. But those people, I just want to show you the scale of how huge this building is, how tall this building is. So I think most of you know that there's this phenomenon that's been going on for maybe 4, 5 years, 6 years now, where a lot of young people will go to Petaling Street and buy flowers, right? For mostly, I believe, for social media purposes. So the flower business has been booming a lot for the past few years. And this is an example. So this couple, I saw them walking far away. I'm just standing at the corner of this shop, and they were walking, and they were looking for flowers because I had seen them go in another shop before. A couple, they were wearing matching outfits, and you can see she's all beautifully made up, ready to be taking pictures with and stuff like that lah. But it's a wonderful thing to happen, right? It's good business lah for the flower industry. This is an Kwan Li temple. This guy is clearing up the joysticks. And this is probably one of my favorite pictures from the whole project that I took. Again, from the same overhead bridge of the train, but looking to the side or towards the Kenanga Mall area. I believe in the book that I've got this picture alongside another picture of a public transportation. So it's showing the old and the new. So people are this woman is like leaving the old way modes of transport, which is driving, going on to the public transportation of the monorail. So this is the title, Under the Shadows of Merdeka. This is the idea that it comes from. This was shot from the 116th floor, 116, of inside Menara Merdeka, because they were the ones who was giving this grant. So I got permission to go up. I went up all the way to the rooftop actually to shoot this. And you can see this is Petaling Street. This is the rooftop of Petaling Street right here. This green thing happening, right? You can see the National Mosque right at the top there. Yeah. This is about 10 o'clock in the morning. So it was earlier, the shadow would be even longer. Yeah. So the combination of this is an exhibition as well as a book. So the book is coming out really soon, fingers crossed, and inside the book will be a poster. So we did a couple of workshops with some schools as part of the grant as well, and some of the pictures of the students' works are there. On the other side is this picture. Anyway, if anybody of you are interested about this book, you can see me afterwards. Huh? Okay. Last project. This is the latest project that I'm working on. It's called Jiwa Membumi. So this is not street as in city street, but it's in the kampung area, the rural landscape, celebrating the rural landscape and lifestyle in Peninsular Malaysia. There are 12 photographers and artists. It's going to be held at Bank Negara Museum and Art Gallery, Sasana Kijang. December 20th is the launch. So it's going to be on for about 3 months. So each artist will have their own little sections or concepts. So I'm actually focusing on taking pictures of the old surau, right? Or the musolahs. So my thing is called Formations of Faith. And I've taken pictures from surau from Kedah, Kelantan and Selangor. Basically to show the fragility of these buildings and also to show how these premises are emphasizing how their relationship with the community is about, yeah? So this is, let me just show you. So this, in my work, I have one big piece. It's an art installation. This is also a collage style. So this is the surau called Surau Tok Janggut. This is in Langgar, in Kedah, or Langgar, on Kedah kata. And then it's very old, but it's still surviving. So I go there, I take lots of pictures and I create my collage. So I do this in the computer. So I put them together into sections, piece by piece, like this. And then I join them up to make into a formation of sorts, right? With this still, so as you can see, the total height is about 7 feet high, yeah? So with this, I build a little model, right? So this is what I envisage my art installation to look like, yeah? It's actually one mosque. It's just this, but I'm showing also the landscape, the surrounding area of the mosque, and I'm also showing the inside of the mosque. What the inside of the, sorry, not the mosque, the surau, how the inside look like, yeah? So next, what I do is I go to Sungai Buloh. I buy plywoods, right, to cut to size, and then I get my photos printed. So they are 8 by 12 inches, 8RW it's called, yeah. And then I put them together. This is a top. I'm just sitting on the floor. This is the top view. My daughter to come down. So now I've got my digital image to refer to, and then I am using this as a guide to put together, to piece to, it's like a jigsaw puzzle lah, basically. Piece together my image in a large size, but I'm doing it piece by piece or section by section. One section may have 4 or 5 images. Let me show you. Then after that, I start to glue it together lah. So you see this is on the floor. You see the white plywood is painted white, and then I'm putting on some glue to stick the images lah, to stick the photo. So it's quite a tedious effort to do all these things. So the middle section where you see the line where the two boards are joined together. At the end, when I put it up at the exhibition, I'm going to put other pieces to cover that joint, basically, so it becomes a complete image. Then I have to sort of wipe it, make sure there are no bubbles. So just wipe it out there, like that. Very slow process, very laborious, a lot of time. So what happens is, this is Bank Negara staff, so they send couriers to come and pick up all our works to send to Bank Negara, and then I go there one day to have a meeting with them just to talk about my work and how to put it together, talk about the structure required to put this together. This was taken yesterday, alright, so I was there yesterday all day until 10 p.m. These are the structures that are going to be used. And from this structure, what we did was, we just, using Velcro, just tape it together onto this backboard. Yeah? And this is the last picture I'm going to share with you. So just putting things together is look very messy. But as you can see, the middle bit of those pictures, in between, right in the middle, there'll be more photos which I'm going to paste on top to complete the whole image. So it's still work in progress. It's supposed to have been completed last night, but couldn't manage to do it. I'm going to continue on Monday morning to do this. But a lot of the other works have already been ready. So I just would like to invite you all from December onwards. These are the artists, the photographers and artists involved in this project. Please do drop by. Sasana Kijang, if you haven't been, is beautiful. You see that spiral staircase? It's very, very beautiful. Okay? So, last slide I'm going to show you is actually, maybe if some of you haven't really thought about documenting or documentary or shooting with a purpose, so maybe this is something that but you want to start thinking about. So start thinking about things. When you take pictures from now on, don't just go and shoot looking for beautiful things. That's great, but have a little bit of purpose. What are you trying to shoot? What are you trying to say? Have a series of images that you want to put together. And it's good to shoot about something that you feel passionate about, something that resonates with you. Yeah? What will the end result of your project be? It can be anything. Most people just post it on social media. Their friends will like it and they're quite happy. But I would strongly encourage you to do something a little bit more. Maybe do a book. If you can't do a book, do a zine. Get it printed. Do an exhibition. Anything and everything is possible. Don't think, I'm not good enough lah. I don't have the money lah. It can all be worked out. Seriously. Take it from me. So those are just some of the ideas that I want to share with you. Okay. Done. So that's the end of that. Any questions? Thank you. Yeah, if you want to know about when those exhibitions are happening, you can follow me on Instagram, and I post a lot of this stuff on my IG. Anybody got any questions to ask? Don't be shy. Close up. Are you saying, is it okay or not okay? Not good. I think there's no rule. You can anybody can shoot pictures of people. Some people may not like their pictures to be taken, and they'll say to you, hey, no one, they can marah you, right? But for me, as a street photographer, I don't have a problem, so it's okay. Have you taken pictures of people? Kena marah? Tak ada kan? Yeah. Yes, you asked permission. I like to shoot more like candids. You know, I do take portraits, what we call street portraits. They pose for you, but sometimes I just want them to be working, right? So I just very kind of discreetly. Sometimes you just stand there and they know you are taking the pictures, but you just stand, you might chit chat. When they start to work again or do what they were doing, then you take the image. And you get kind of nice people at work kind of shots. Good question. Okay, last question. Anybody? No? You have question? You, Wrong place. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you get something from this talk. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay.
I want to sit up and ask for my present.
Ya, tak boleh percaya tu. I got bukti, Wan.